Oh, well, thank you very much, Emma Tufeli, for coming on the program. But we'll stay with you for a bit as we delve into another issue now. Now, we do know that about 100 people lost their lives on Monday after a boat carrying them capsized into the Niger River in Kwara State. Now, according to the police and residents, the victims were indigents of nearby villages who were returning from a wedding in the village of Egboti. Now, the boat reportedly overpowered by huge river waves before smashing into a tree. Among the dead were several women and children. And according to a press release, it was not clear whether there were any survivors. A police spokesman, Okasomi Ajayi, on Tuesday said what we gathered was there was a boat that capsized and about 100 people died. According to locals around there, many people died because the accident took place around 3 a.m. and they were not aware of it even hours after. Local sources also say dead bodies are still being searched for. The Nigerian Daily reported that the passengers traveling on the boat were from Baja, Egbu, and other the villages around. Well, a funeral had already been held for at least 60 people who were killed in the accident. So we're having tragic issues like this. And don't forget that in 2021, there was a similar boat accident that led to the death of some 160 persons.
Yes.
And this is troubling. In the first instance, why were they moving around at that time of the day? How clear can you see at 3 a.m. on the waterways?
It is like their trade over there. It's traditional, sometimes customary. They've been doing that for years, sometimes since centuries. Okay, but the country have come of age where we should have legislation on safety. Okay, we should have proper marine police. What we have here, the one you have at Obalandi, it's just I don't even know whether they are even trained as marine police.
That's the next question I wanted to ask.
As you have it in the West, okay, marine police should be able to. We should have our waterways should be overseen. We should have surveillance on our waterways, because if we had surveillance, they would have been rescued.
On time too.
Yes, we should watch over the sea. We know what is going on in the sea, the land, the air, everywhere, all our public space. We should know what is going on. Okay, 3 a.m. If you had marine police at the border of where the ship dock, of course, they will not allow them to step into the waters at that time. If you are coming from a wedding 3 a.m., and they said there were a lot of children, so many
it was
persons
overloaded
died.
as well.
Now, overloaded, there's no life jackets. Okay, there is no, there's nothing to indicate when there is emergency, like whistle, like in some countries,
like a radio to call.
Yeah, in some countries, once there is an emergency, it triggers alarm somewhere. The authorities are informed automatically. Okay, you see that they put it in a boat.
They have like a tower, like a watchtower.
Yes,
with search lamps looking around
and all that. But in this case, we're talking about locally made boats. Okay, we're talking about people in the villages. Okay, who possibly do not have enough resources to go by any other means other than the means they have adopted. So we need to do more about safety in Nigeria. Safety on our roads, safety on waters, safety everywhere. Even the issue of building collapse we're talking about. We're not taking safety very serious. We're not taking it serious because the regulatory authorities you have also are not acting the right way.
Which brings me to the question I want to ask. When the price of pump increased,
yes,
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, during his address yesterday morning, said that he knows Nigerians are going through a lot, but they should bear. That he was going to make sure that palliative measures in transportation, education, all right, and poverty alleviation, these are the three things he mentioned he would expedite. Now, there's so much concentration on road transport.
Yes.
Insecurity has kind of doused the concentration, so it's more like, air transportation. Now, for water transportation, it's not wrong for us to utilize that venue for water transportation. Now, these are the measures we're thinking that the government would have looked into before taking off subsidy.
Yes.
When these sectors that would have made transportation easy have been properly put together, there is a plan, there's something in place as a palliative. Now, people do not trust the water transport, despite the government assuring that we have boats, we have life jackets, you are safe. People do not trust it because of something like this.
Yes.
So, what is the role of the National Orientation Agency in that? How quick will the federal government or the state government do something about water transportation to make it a viable means of transportation, now that we do know that the living condition has changed automatically?
Yeah, there should be a national policy on it, and then state policies on water transportation. Because even if you look at it, our sea and the water areas, waterways, is even in the exclusive list. So, just like the president signed the Electricity Act into law, we should have laws signed by the federal government, adopted by the states, so domesticated by the state. Then the state should now increase capacity. Do you know that from a place like Ikorodu, you can travel to Bayelsa by water? You can get to Port Harcourt by water. Yes. So we have to develop that as a means. Then, more importantly, create the required security. The Navy and the Marine Police, okay, they are required, because it's not enough to just have. And then this issue of locally made boats should be phased out. They are not
Should be
safe.
phased out.
Yes, it should be phased out. There should be a
Or should
law.
be improved upon.
Well, we should have proper boats. We should have proper boats like they have in the UK. If you see the boat, you have confidence. Okay, some of them are not even mechanized. Okay, they are manually, but if you see the boat, you know that it's something you should. But here, sometimes if you go to the terminal bridge, you see two small children, sometimes the age of 7, 14 years, at the center of the sea with one small stick on one little plank that look like the collie boat, and they are there, and we are watching them. And these are our citizens that we are supposed to look after their welfare. So we should do something about it. Face this thing out. Government can possibly subsidize if they cannot access the real one, their lifestyle by culture and whatever is tied to marine activities. Government should subsidize these boats so that they can have access to getting proper boats to ply around the waterways. This is a dangerous situation. It's a national emergency.
It is.
Okay.
And I heard they're still bringing people out. They're still searching for
I think
bodies.
50 people so far.
Yes.
100.
60. No,
But
people that they have brought out.
Brought out.
Yeah.
People that are brought, but they say over 100 died.
Over 100 died.
You
So
can imagine.
they're still
bad.
counting.
Now, if you say over 100, that boat must have been overloaded.
It was.
Because 100 person on, I know how those boats look
Boats are.
like. They are not so big. So, is it one boat that capsized? I mean, 100 people.
A
is
father
much.
and his 4 children. It's an entire family that went off.
And an entire
in that
family.
boat
So
mishap.
these things are avoidable. They are avoidable. But they are not discussing this issue. Who is representing that local government at the 10th assembly? We have to find out who the person is. Let's interview this person. Okay, what does he have to say? He should take this matter to the National Assembly. There must be a law to the effect. It happened in 2001. Who was representing that particular area in 2001? Okay,
What happened
What did he
afterwards?
do after the accident to ensure that a second one does not happen? There's still going to
the
be
scene of the accident, because that's what we see them do most times.
Yes,
They visit the place and then they talk to people, but nothing really is done.
But
Nothing
Mr.
is done.
Okosomi Ajayi, the public relations officer there, said there's a scanty report of the incident. That's what the
Scanty
police is
report.
actually saying. There's a scanty report of the incident by now. Meaning that what has gotten to his table is not something, it hasn't gotten to a substantial level for him to
there's a
ascertain
police
what precisely
department
took
of
place.
marine. There's a police department of marine. Who is the head there? Those people should be sacked.
Do you think it's a division that is even active? Do they even consider that division as a division that
They
is
go
meant
for
to-
training all the time. They go for training, all this and all that. The one in Lagos out of Balande, FIB, they have a marine section of the police there. I don't know how equipped they are, whether they even have a boat or whether they even have the rescue mechanism. But I know that the police have one helicopter which the IG uses. I don't know any other. Then there's this NEMA. Okay, their function also is to rescue like
Emergency
this emergency.
agencies.
So where is
then
NEMA?
if we look at it,
I saw them there.
For NEMA, it is when they got news of the information.
They tried to get
NEMA
there.
is saying, rescue operators are saying, look, this thing happened at 3 a.m. You didn't get information up until 5 or thereabouts.
No, NEMA is not supposed to be asleep. Not supposed to be asleep. That's not their. They're not. They are an emergency institution. Institution that it's like saying that the firefighters, they didn't get information. What was that? They should know.
But somebody will have to call them.
Yeah, somebody will have to call them, but they should know what is going on. They should know. You see, and this manual system we're operating, this somebody has to call them. Will not work. Will not work in the 21st century. This somebody has to call them. Who is going to call them at 3 a.m.? Who is awake? They should be the one taking surveillance over which boat is moving to where, when, and how. Just like you have
This
ICAO.
be like a sheep.
Yeah, just like you have, there's no plane that will take off from anywhere and land anywhere without them knowing that direction. Can't we have that on the waterways?
radar system.
Yeah, we can have that on the waterways.
Do you think one of the reasons because there's no much concentration on the waterways as there is for road and air transport?
There's not much concentration, but at least people are applying those words, and those people are citizens. And there's an institution that is supposed to oversee those emergency issues of emergency and all that. You have government, you have police, you have navy. So what is the essence of these institutions if we are going to be losing 100% and then 160 in 2001? Can we talk on these things? The person representing that area, I'm trying to get to know who that person is.
Are you sure that the Marine police were not there and maybe bribed? Now, the reason I'm saying this is, I know one time someone I know had to travel. You know, I was at the Marine, like a dockyard.
Yes.
At CMS.
Yes. Okay.
Where they take off from Niger, from Lagos to Port Novo and all of that.
Yes.
I got talking with a few people there, and I asked the question, do they have marine police on the waterways? And they said yes, that in fact they have to, sail to where they are, give them something before they continue. When they're coming back from Port Novo, they do the same thing. So they sail to where they are, because they have a station.
Yeah, they have a station
on the water there.
Yeah.
They sail to where they are, give them something, and continue. So what is there to say that they weren't actually there, and maybe something was given, but they were not aware of the accident? Something was given to probably allow the boat go, knowing that it was overloaded.
That is the issue. So the police,
There is that possibility.
The police are also collecting toll on the waterways. That's what's happening.
Yes.
So those kind of corruption which should be checked, because the biggest problem of the Nigerian state is the inability or the ineffectiveness of the regulatory agencies and authority. Do you know, as SON is, they take bribe. SON, where they were supposed to ensure that Standard Organization, where they're supposed to ensure that manufactured goods are of standard, they compromise. Okay, when you have such institution compromising, what do you expect of the country? So we need to do something about, if this government is going to work. You see, these little issues like this must be worked on. It's either we have proper waterways management, boats and all that, or we don't. The past administration, they were talking about railway throughout. Okay, part of the loan they took to develop railway, they should have channeled part of that money to waterways. Maybe buy boats for these communities. How much does it cost to buy a boat? Or get the state governor engaged, involve the State House of Assembly. The State of Assembly liaise with the Federal House. The concentration is not for the citizens. That's what I'm saying. Governance here is not, they don't concentrate on the citizen. If they concentrate on the needs of the citizens, they will be able to create these waterways and all that.
All right then. Thank you very much, Barrister Evan Tufeli. Thank you for coming on VOP this morning.
Okay.
Well, this is where we'll have to let you go now. When we come back, Kayla will be joining us for entertainment, and we'll also be letting you into the world of business. All right, so stay with us as we return in a short while.